Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever. This is the Great Western Railway and it is episode 50. We're looking forward to the episode today because we're going to upgrade all the rolling stock, move a whole lot of things around and jump into the future. Talking about it, let's start that by moving the clock. We're at the bottom right corner here. We're going to scroll it up to 4 times and then get triple movement going and let the game run forward. The plan is to get to 1928. It's like, why are we doing 1928, you ask? That is because it is a nice balance between when we have the Great British Railway stuff and then it moving into British Rail. And if you do things like this, if you look at our crossbars, you can see there's all these special dates. And I really want to stay in era A for a lot of this, and that's where 1928 comes from. And then British Rail, we need to be careful because British Rail kicks in 1948, which is a bit later than that. So yeah, we want to move forward and get some of this new stuff. Talking of which, there we are. There's a new bus. Plan is to get a whole lot of new rolling stock for the trains in particular, and we'll also try to get some trams along the way. The other reason to stop in 1928 is these stations, when you put down these modules, they will change style. So these will go like yellowy color on the edge there when it changes to British Rail. So what I want to do is run the series forward. We'll get to 1928 and then we'll pause it. We'll finish the map. We'll get all the stations down and all that type of stuff, and then we'll do a whole lot of detailing and make sure all the routes are finished and all that stuff, and then we'll finish off the series by going a little bit more forward up to, as I said, 1940 something. Probably won't get to British Rail in 48, so we'll probably wait till the last decent Great Western turns up in 42. So let's say a split difference. We'll finish in 1946 and celebrate the end of World War II. So as you can see, tons and tons of stuff is turning up. So one of the things we do need to worry about with the date being rolled forward is what's going to happen to the towns. And you can see at the moment we have this particular style, this very old-esque style. And what I've done is modified the way that the game is configured. So by default, towns will move from era A, which is what this is, in 1920, and then we'll move on to era B and they'll get a bit more modern. And we can actually play with that in the configuration file. So I'll put on the screen where this file is. It's part of the game save folder, as in where the game is installed. If we look for the term era, ERA, in town building util.lua, LUA is a scripting language, you can see down here we actually have the date. So this thing, the town building utils make buildings. So what this does is it tells the game when it should change to the different style era. And so I'm going to change this from 20 up to 50, and that will make it so that we run a later clock. Now all of the buildings and will follow that, but the trains and stuff and everything else will stay with their old time zone. What are we up to? 1912. So we'll keep that going. The first things I want to do is play with the passenger lines. So we've got the Great Dotten, we've got the Maybury Valley, and if I click the right thing at a distance, can I reach it? Over here is the station. Look at the whole lot of passenger stuff's turning up. This is not Great Western Railway stuff. This is there's a mod called the Mark Pack or something. Anyways, that's where they're from. We're not actually going to use them. I probably will. I probably should uninstall that mod. So what are we going to do about trains while the time goes flying forward? My thought is that on the Great Dotten, I'm going to move all of these across to this purple line, the one that goes all the way down the end of the map, because I want some high-speed trains. And these current Maybury Valley line ones, I should say the ones on the Ivory Coast, the ones in the purple, can move to Maybury Valley, and then it can have 5 of these old red ones, and it's just going to be a little shuttle in here, and that can be the smaller ones. And then, as I said, these will go on the purple line, and then on the Great Dotton we will add new ones. So let's start by moving them around. Let's move these first, I guess. So we'll move these guys across to Maybury Valley. That's them done, and then that's kind of complete for that. And then these ones we're going to move across to the Ivory Coast. We're going to have to rename these. So passenger Ivory Coaster, and we're going to have to fix that. While we're here, let me quickly modify all of these names. And lucky last, number 5. While I'm here, I'm not happy with the way that these have been designed. Keep an eye on the clock there as it rushes forward. What I want to do is put on some front and rear brake vans. So passenger trains, we're still using these ones. And then let's do the front ones. I'm going to double click on those and scroll down the list. And then I'm going to hold, so normally when you press these left and right, it just goes one. If you hold down shift, you can see how you get a bar. So I'm going to run it down the front. And it's a quick way of moving things to the front and the back. You also can rotate them. So if you hold down shift, you actually can make them 180 on themselves. So let's do that. Now these are going to lose capacity a bit, but that's fine. And these all need to be 120 still from where they're going. And then the rear, double click on here to get the rear done. And now we have 146, that's too long. Get rid of one passenger thing. And I think these started at 88, and I'm now down to 80 now. 127 is fine, but the important thing is they now have a brake car at the front and the end, and then 4 in the middle. So let's do that, and they're now correct. How's time going? 1917. We're getting there. So that's done. So these guys need some rolling stock. I'm waiting for 1923 or 27. I think it's 23 is what I'm waiting for. When the new trains and new carriages turn up. So while we're waiting for that, actually I can close that. Let's do the same thing. Actually, we should fix this thing. Let's go find the person who ended up in the wrong world and is blocking the line, so we can quickly, cat and areas are turned up. If we do that and tell them to turn around, let's fix that. We're very lucky. We didn't have too many that were unhappy. Now we've lost all of our passengers because there's nothing on the line. So these are all going to be empty right now. So financially, it's going to be an abject disaster for a little while from a passenger network. I think when it comes to cargo, I'm going to do the same thing with cargo. I think I'm going to wait for the time to get there, and that way we can assign things to the line and not lose our ability. So yeah, let's start getting this ready. So that's the Great Dotton's cargo version. Let's get the Maybury Valley version, and we also need the Monty one. So same thing as before. We're going to end up with 3. And I think in this example, I'm going to move the Monty once again. The one across the middle is going to get all of these. And the Maybury can get some rejects. You can see how there's a mix here. So if we go manage vehicles on these, you can see that we actually have these red ones and also these cars. I think, yeah, I'm not quite sure why I chose to do that. But I think what I might do is we'll move 2 of them over to Maybury Valley. Oh, a lot of trains are turning up. Cargo and Maybury Valley. And then I'm going to leave a couple on there so that way we don't lose the stuff on the stations. And how are we going? Oh, Greg's turned up. So the George. This is all of our cargo tram mods. 1920. Remember, we're aiming for 1928 right now. So Yeah, I went and looked up all the stats, and 1928 is when the trams change, and it's also after the point where we get all the latest rolling stock for the passenger line. Here comes 1922. All right, while we're waiting for this, I'm going to start moving some of these across. So the goal is to put them onto the Monty. That one's complete. So let's move let's just move, about half of these across. So we'll move them to the Monty. And yeah, because we've moved them, I think we'll be able to delete those two. 7 and 25 will get deleted. I think this boxcar, it was a weird constituent. I'm going to sell that. Let's move one more across to the Monty. And so we should still have stuff on the platforms. You can see that we haven't lost the list there because there's at least something on the rails. Yeah, 1923 is where all the decent engines are turning up. Awesome. Yeah, this is the start of the new coaches. So if we go look at our depot, we can see now that under passengers right here, you can see we now have different variants available. You know what? Is 23 late enough? No, we want 28. We'll keep on going to 28. But we do have the new coaches, so we can start working on that. So I think at the moment we're using these 16s, and that's the full coach. So basically the brake ones are half full, so you can see 16 goes down to 8, and then they give the other half is just used for braking. So these ones go up to 20, and these go up to 24. So these ones have a corridor, very Harry Potter-esque, and then these ones are just compartments. I'm just going to go for the higher capacity. We'll start with, I don't know, 5 in the middle. Actually, we need to put a front one on, so we can put that, hold down shift and move that, and that can go on the back. And then we will need an engine. I'm not sure what engines are available yet. We'll do it by attractive effort. And here we go. The really cool stuff is turning up. I think we'll be going pretty... Oh, there's some planes too. Oh, Flying Scotsman. I won't be using that yet. So I'm still watching that time, 1925. So this is the start of the really big 460 era. This one turned up in 1906. Built for heavy express passenger train use. And then it looks like there's a later variant of this 4000 series. So there's some small moguls, but let's go for 460s. So like this one, heavy duty express, 1923. Yeah, so I think this is going to be our thing, and we'll bring it down to 130. And this is going to be our new passenger service on the Great Dalton. Let's start with 6. I have no idea how many we need. And so we can buy that, and then they can go passenger service on the Great Dalton. And awesome. So yeah, we can see, yeah, those are looking fantastic. Let's go look at one of those. We'll get rid of some of these things. And are you going to be able to come out? So that guy will fly through. 1926. Hopefully we'll get some clear space here in a sec. Yeah, so some of these, so that was a Great Dalton too. So I'm just going to slow down time for a sec. Let's have a look at this guy. We'll follow along. The 4073, so it's a 460. The Caerphilly Castle. Beautiful rail cars. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it was a bit of a fire hose of change there as we ran time forward. But how cool does that look? That looks really majestic. I love it. Looks like the passenger count. Yeah, the passenger count went to 0 because we didn't have anything assigned to the line. And this increased time. We'll get to 1928 and then we'll shut down the clock. Still lots of more variants turning up. These reverse variants as well. Now, it will take the game a fair while to bed in the the new trains, because they'll be pointing the wrong direction, they'll go the wrong way, and they won't realize that these services are available. So between episodes, I'll probably run it for literally 1 or 2 hours. Oh, here we go. We are going to enter 1928 and stop. So yeah, January 11, 1928. And we have, okay, and there's a whole lot of new coaches. So out of interest, if we manage those vehicles, what could we modify? Because there's a whole lot of coaches turn up, a whole lot more trains too, and bogies. That's right, that's why I wanted to go to 28, because there's a whole lot of new freight stuff. Nice. All right, and there's a tram there as well. So let's make this a little bit quieter. Actually, you know, let's move away from the station. I'm just going to move out to a middle of the field. So currently, we used this bottom one. So cool. We still have the best in the... so we used this one, sorry. So we have the best or the highest traction effort for the train, and we got 145 out of it. And we end up using this one, I think, the one that has, the one that has 24 capacity and max of 97. So they're not super fast. If we had chosen the one with less capacity, actually that's the ones we had originally. They're really slow. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, even though it's slightly slower, we don't really get that fast around here, and I'd rather have the extra 24 people. So that worked out quite well. So yeah, these look great. I think what we're seeing with the all those extra new ones was, how's this work? Okay, there was 2 variants for that. So if we bring that Great Western Railway back, and I don't know if we can expand this more. All right, so this is the ones we were using originally, and there's now a fair few variants, a 27 variant and earlier. That's the 16. The 20 also went through some new variants, so it's probably just new livery on the outside. And then the 24 didn't have extra variants. Okay, so we didn't have extra choices when we hit 27. So yeah, looks like those look fantastic, and we've got that perfect. And so what's left to do is the freight. So that guy, and that guy. So the Maybury Valley has this beautiful mixed line, so I think they're all fine. Actually, this one, the 7 and the 25, they didn't get moved across. I don't think we need that many. I think I'm going to sell that one and sell that one, and then we'll just run these proper trains on there, the ones where they've just got the same state cars the whole way down. And yeah, so these will get moved across to here, but we have to make sure we have new stuff on Great Dotton so we don't lose all these supplies. So yeah, let's make those trains as well. We'll start with the steam engine. And down the bottom here, highest tractive effort, the 28080. Wow. The 2800 class was designed for heavy freight, and blah, blah, blah. And 84 were built. It sounds awesome. So let's grab one of those. And then from a cargo point of view, we're going to need something that is a goods wagon. I assume this big one, 514. So that takes tools and bread. That's the 2 of the main things that we're moving around. If we choose the one above it, they're kind of old. They don't work. All right, so is there any other? All right, so there's this one as well. So the goods wagon grey. So that's version 1. So we've got 2 bogies at the front and the back. 121, 14. Versus 121.14. Okay, so is it actually the same thing? They just got it into the same goods wagon V1. Plain grey. Okay, so we've got 2 different leverages. So there's a one without Great Western on it, and one with Great Western on it. See that GW. All right, so that can be our goods train. Let's bring that up to 122. And we'll put 4 of them on the cargo Great Dotton. And then we're going to do that again. Let's grab another steam engine, same engine, nice big beefy one. And we need black cars. So this is going to be, so we want this one which has, do we need wood? No. There is steel, but I don't think we move steel around the network. Maybe for the bombs or something. Yeah, I think we can skip that one. This one has bricks. Okay, that's one of the important things to move around. And what options do we have? So we do have this McCaw A bolster, so 6 and 80. So it doesn't seem... so these are all... Yeah, these are all going to have the same. Actually, let's do it this way, because I know we want to have... We want to have bricks or con mats. Okay, this is what we have choice. So we have these McCaws. Ooh, we can go through a mixed load or the special gunpowder van. So we don't want that. So risky, it's a choice between these two. We'll get bricks out of this one, and this one will get everything else plus bricks. So we'll get tools and yeah, we'll just get everything out of this one. This will solve a lot of problems. So let's let's get this and we'll bring it up to 122-ish or 120. Okay, it happens to be 122 as well. Buy. Great Dotton, and then manage vehicles, and then the two that were original, which was that one and that one. Is that correct? Yeah, they're all the same. You can get moved across to the Monty, and there we go. So where are you? So you're in the shed, and you're also in the shed. So yeah, this is going to struggle to get stuff out. What we can do, just for the sake of it, is we can... I'm just going to bring out a signal out there for now. That way we can see them easier. How good does that look? 2800. It is a 280. This kind of matches the number on the front, obviously. That's cool. I love the green. Yeah, a bit of a beast. And all these route cars look great as well. Awesome. We'll have to find a boxcar variant when that happens. All right, let's work out what this complaint is. Mutually blocked. This is just because I told people to do stuff. If you stop, and then I'm just going to tell this guy to do that. And if we do some fully forward action, everything's fine. The game is juddering as it tries to calculate all of the new paths. And I think that is everything upgraded. Let's have a look at this run into the station. Looks like, yeah, everything's a bit bunched up because we told it to... Yeah, you get going. Yeah, we spawned them all at the same time. So, yeah. I love this area. I don't think I've shown this area much on camera. The episode 0 trailer thing where you watch the trains fly around, I taped that many episodes ago, so it's different trailers or different coaches. But yeah, there's a shot in that video thing or cinematic thing where I kind of like it pans through here. Yeah, I don't know if I've shown the church. The idea is that there's like a wedding going on. Everybody's in their finery. And yeah, there's a little yard over here. This represents the siding for this orchard. So it's kind of cool. And yeah, a whole lot of sheds and stuff. So the idea is to really make this feel important. And then the other thing I don't know if I've ever shown on camera is this farm. So this is the person who's meant to own all the orchards. And like an Ingo asset, I-N-G-O. It's under assets, under Ingos is under 111, and then the farm one, is this it? Yeah, this one. This farm asset up here, Ingo's farm complete. And so you can choose to have white walls and stuff. And that's the base farm. And then I've put down a horse stable shed thing, and then obviously the horses. This comes with the weeping willows, so you know, use them all around, and put some cattle and stuff over here grazing too. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. There's another one, this guy here, this is a mod, the Haysmith Hatter. So Mad Hatter makes this farm. And this is actually a proper wheat farm. and it also has roughly the same vibe. So yeah, I need to actually get a working like a route on this, so this doesn't despawn. That's kind of important. What are you doing? So what's, I think, if I remember right, at the end of the line at Kessel, which is here. Yeah, this has got to wait till full. And yeah, yeah, I said it to wait for full. I'm wondering why I did that. I got a feeling I did that as part of the recording of that movie just to make it sit still, and I never undid it. That actually explains some things. But yeah, they're looking good. Let's go find a boxcar. Well, at least with all that stuff bunched up there, it's probably given a chance for these guys to get out of the station. So there's another one of those flat cars. Where is a boxcar? Yeah, they're still in there. Still in there. Okay, they're coming out right now. So yeah, another 280. Oh, where's one of the boxcars? Go there. Awesome. Actually, that might be the old ones. I think that... yeah, that's the ones that we reassigned from this line across the Monty. So you can see, I think we're using the same boxcars. Yeah, we're using the same boxcars, but it's a much older engine. So, yeah, you can see how we've kind of matured over the years. 2301. Still looks great. So what's that? 060? Yeah, it's probably got half, if not maybe only a third of the horsepower of that thing over there. Slightly different green, but it still looks great. Look at this, absolutely chock-a-block. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just put the game on full forward ahead for ages and let it run, because yeah, it's a bit overwhelmed. Looks fantastic. And it also looks like the end of the episode. Yay! Episode 50. I'm quite proud to get this far. I didn't know how long the series would take. There's still tons more to do. There's a lot of routes that we haven't done. So yeah, there's lots of little towns. Like Tolton really hasn't got a good story. Bergen doesn't. Tisdale doesn't have passenger service. Yeah, there's lots of little small things that need some time. And even with things like Rockstone, which does have a passenger service, it could probably do with a little bit more detailing, a little bit more finesse. And so there's lots more to do. And then there's that whole corner down there that we actually haven't done. You know, Durham, Meriton, and Puttery, all of them don't have passenger services. And a lot of these are just using trucks to deliver them, so rather than rail. So yeah, there's still probably another 20 episodes at least. Might aim for maybe episode 75 for the whole thing. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to press subscribe so you can see more of this Great Western Railway action, and also put a like on the video as well. We'll see you next time on the rails.